melody tamu nimepata na siishi hamu kuimba wimbo adimu kupata na nafahamu nimeshinda na inaenda taratibu inatibu na roho yangu yatulia inajua nimepata ya nimepata ya nimepata ya nimepata ya hey, hey, hey. Wewe ni wimbo wangu, wewe ni wimbo wangu, wewe ni something. It's very simple. I want you to say,
Grace Matata, karibu sana kwenye Lete Stori and Nafsi Art Space. This is a monthly event where we celebrate the talent like yours, where we celebrate the musician and their journey and their stories. I'm very honored to be here with you. Bila sasa kupoteza muda, let's dive in. Who is Grace Matata?
Wow. I'm a musician, but before being a musician, I would say I'm a life lover. I love life, and I think we all share the human experience. Being human is not easy, and I think through music, kitu ambacho watu wengi tunakipenda, something that we love and we connect with, I get to share my life experiences. When I'm writing music, when I'm doing music, I'm not going out there to say naenda kuandika mziki kwa ajili ya kuruka majoka au kwa ajili ya kufanya hivi au kwa ajili ya kufanya hivi. It's me, a person who loves life and who's looking for ways to connect with other people. And through my music, I write experiences, my human experiences, which I know we all share. And when I do a song like Free Soul, and kila mtu anakuja anasema, I love that song. Imenisaidia sana kipindi changu kigumu cha maisha. For me, that's one of the biggest achievement because I am doing my purpose. My purpose is to share my humanity, my human experience with other people. So for me, I'm not just, first, I'm a human who loves life. Second, I'm a musician who uses music to connect and share my life experiences. Yep.
Wow, that's so nice. Makofi tafadhali. That was a good, beautiful. Sasa Grace, before everything, before discovering you're a human and who used the music to express yourself, what made you think that you can do music? What made you think like, aha, sasa nataka kuimba. Oh, I am that singer.
Actually, so I come from a very musical family, but in a weird way, hakuna professional musician in our family. But unajua ile mshawahi kukutana kwenye family functions, right? Kuna kikao, sijui mjomba anakuja kusemwa siku hiyo nyumbani. Kuna gathering fulani, kuna mahari inatolewa or something. For some reason mkiwa kwenye setting hiyo ya familia, ghafla tu familia ikaanza kuimba kwa pamoja. that's the kind of family that I come from. Naweza mkawa mmekaa tu hivi, people are just talking, all of a sudden people start singing. But they would sing nyimbo za kanisani, they would sing traditional songs, nyimbo za kabila letu. My mother ni Mbena, mtu kutoka Iringa. So I remember growing up, my bibi was a choir singer. Every time you just gather, hata mkiwa watano tu unashangaa mama mkubwa, mama watu wanaanza kuimba, wanadua. Sisi tuna this traditional song inaitwa kiduo, so people just kudua and stuff like that. So in terms of like the music itself, hakujawahi kuwa na a point ambayo nisema I can actually sing, because I think in my family I'm one of those people who are not even that, yeah. But in terms of professionally, since I was like 13, 14, 15, toka nilivyokuwa O-level, I always loved singing. People knew me as a person who loved music. So wakati nimefika A-level, I started gravitating towards people who actually do music. I met amazing people who made amazing music. And over time, tuka align. And I don't even remember a day that I woke up and I said, leo nakuwa mwanamuziki. It was always a part of me. It was always God's way of making sure unakutana na mtu fulani. Let's say the first record label ambayo nilikuwa signed to. My first record label, I remember nilikuwa nafanya kazi enzi hizo, and one of my co-workers, whenever I would work, nilikuwa naimba all the time. I would just be doing stuff and I'm singing. And one of my co-workers noticed that. So he heard kuna record label mpya inafunguliwa, ilikuwa inaitwa M-Lab back in the days. So, and they were looking for new artists. So it's like, okay, Grace, there's this friend of mine who's opening a studio, a record label and a studio. Why don't you go and msalimia? Anaitwa Duke, alikuwa anaitwa. He's still here. Why am I saying alikuwa anaitwa? So it took me like a couple months. He would remind me, like, Grace, why aren't you going to the studio? Wanakusubiria. So I would meet up with other people, would jam. I play the guitar. So back then I was studying to play. So nilikuwa na marafiki wana guitar and stuff like that. By the time naenda kule studio, I got in and everybody was there and they gave me a guitar and they said play, and I played a song and I sang and they said, okay, do you want to join the record label? So there's never really been a point about nisema sasa nakuwa professional musician, but I think God has always engineered in such a way as you're born in a musical family, you are connected to watu ambao wanapenda mziki na wanafanya mziki. So when it got to a point sasa naanza kufanya mziki professionally, it was just very natural. I just started doing it. By the time I realized, it's actually something I can actually do as a profession, and kitu ambacho kinaweza kikaniingizia kipato na kikawa kazi yangu, it was already being done. So there was never really a point. It was just part of my purpose toka mwanzo. Yes, I write 90% of my songs. I can actually tell you which songs I did not write. Most of them I do myself. Yeah. Songs are like children. You can't say which one is your favorite child. Anyway, wewe mtu akuuliza hapa, wewe mtoto wako unayempenda kuliko wote ni upi? It's very, very hard.
But you can always have a favorite, I'm telling you.
No, you know, like you don't say it, right? So for me, I think one of my favorite songs, na sio kwa sababu maybe I love it the most, but because I think it serves ile purpose yangu ya connecting with people through music. I really love Free Soul because it is something ambayo ili connect na watu in a level ambayo sikuwahi kutegemea. When I was writing the song, I wasn't writing it because I was a very free soul who is happy and happy-go-lucky. No, I actually wrote it because it was something I wanted to be. I wasn't. I was always stressed. I was always worried. I was always, I was looking for something bigger than myself. And then at some point I realized you don't go out looking for something bigger than yourself. You are already bigger than anything else. God, the way God created you, it's such a big, big thing. But every now and then you forget that. And you forget to remember who you are and the things that actually matter about you and life in general. So for me, that song was about how do I remind myself about the things that really matter in life. You're living every day as it comes. I don't live every day as it comes. I am mimi najua ku stress nyinyi. Hamjawahi kuona. But the song is a reminder to actually take every day as it comes. My husband, I got married some time back. My husband calls me the warrior. Not the warrior as in the fighter. No, as in the one who worries.
Nice.
Beautiful. I am
the
warrior.
The husband. Makofi tafadhali jamani.
Shout out to the husband.
Yeah, shout out to the hubby.
But so the song itself is not it's not like a declaration kwamba I am a free soul. No, it's actually something you aspire to be. I aspire to be somebody who really understands that life is a gift. Nobody's promised 5 minutes from here. Bomb linaweza ikaruka pasa hivi tukafa wote. But here you are worrying about what's gonna happen when you get back home, or tomorrow morning, or the day after. And we do that. It's such a, my mom anasema ni kiburi cha uzima. When we are fine, we are healthy, we tend to think about small things kwamba ndio matatizo. But kuna watu ambao they are sick, yani they are dying. And ukimuuliza huyo what is the most important thing, is very different from what you're thinking right now. So the song is not really I love the song because it's not a declaration that I am. It's something I aspire to be. I aspire to be a free soul, and that's why I love that song a lot. It's quite interesting. MLab was not just a record label. I think it was an era. It's like ukikumbuka at that point the artists were coming out of MLab. It was like an era ambayo tulipitia. And after MLab, I went independent. I got like a personal. I never signed to a record label tena. I got a management. I had a manager who would help me do my stuff. I was signed on Pana Music for a couple of years. Gradually, nikawa independent completely, and I would have a team of people just helping me, and I would pay my way as I go. Because there's a lot of politics involved in record labels and in management, especially kwa industry yetu ambayo still kuna mifumo mingi haijakaa sawa. Yeah. So I never, and for me working in music ilikuwa ina require somebody who would share my vision, somebody who would understand what I'm trying to achieve. Because unaweza kukutana na watu, they're like, oh, Grace, would like to work with you. Well and good, lakini their vision is not aligned with you. I've always considered myself a bongo flavor artist, but I always said, you know what is very exciting about bongo flavor? We pull from so many different things. Kuna watu wanafanya reggae, kuna watu hata huu mwimbo tunaosema ni bongo flavor, it evolves from it borrows from so many rhythms, tarabu, sijui kitu gani. It's a mix and a mash of that. So for me, existing in the bongo flavor space, I wanted to bring something that I had mwenyewe. But a lot of people, when you want to work with them, they want you to go and do something else. So it was very hard to find people you would align with. Watu wanakwambia badilika, so that and for me, I respect it. For now, I love bongo flavor artists. Yani, my favorite artist, by the way, is Mbosso. Oh my God, I love that guy. I love Mbosso because I believe yani what he brings to the table, what he brings to the bongo flavor table is so beautiful. He's such a beautiful poet. The way he writes, he's just divine. The reason I love Mbosso, my favorite, is he's always brought his own little thing to bongo flavor. It's not like what everybody else does, but it worked. And you know why it worked? Because he was true to that. But you would meet like 10 different bongo flavor people who are doing pretty much the same thing, and none of it goes very far. So for me, I was like, there's already an Ali Kiba, there's already a Lady JD, there's already somebody there who are doing their thing, and you love it and you respect it. Do you really need another 10 of those? Yeah. So for me, working with other people, it required somebody who would say, we want to do business, but how do we package what you have to make it sustainable and financial, ikakulipa na ikakuendesha maisha yako without you having to change who you are or change what you do or what you bring to the table. Yeah.
Actually, yes, you took makofi tafadhali. That was really, really deep. Which actually brings me to the question, which half of it tayari umeshajibu, talking about authenticity value and market value, which is like commercial value.
I had a boss back in the day. Alikuwa anapenda kusema, always start with why. When you start with why, everything else makes sense. Because it's very easy to get lost in the noise, because there's a lot of noise. Wanasema miluzi mingi inapoteza nini? Mbwa, right? For me, doing music is not just something that you do, it's who I am. And for example, for the past like 10 years, I've always had a day job and I've done my music. So why I did it? Because sometimes it wasn't the most sustainable in terms of like, especially in the beginning. In the beginning, kabla, after the first record label, hapo unaanza kuwa independent uko peke yako, you don't have support behind you. You had to figure out, how do I finance my work? kwa sababu unajua unlike other stuff, unaweza ukianzisha biashara sasa hivi yoyote, unaweza ukaandika proposal, ukafanya nini, ukaenda bank, ukachukua loan, ukaanza kuuza vitu na nini, because kuna mifumo ambayo unaweza quantify, uka measure risk, ukafanya nini. But with our industry, it's very very hard kupata mtu akaweka investment. So most of the time you have to invest in yourself, or you get somebody to put the money in there. So in the beginning, it was a bit of a struggle. I had to, after leaving the record label, I had to figure out, how do I, as an independent artist, how do I keep doing my purpose, which is something I love and which is what I believe what God made me to do. But how do I do it in such a way as I'm able to take care of myself and I'm able to earn a living, but at the same time, I am able to go as far as I can with my music. So it took a lot of trial and error. Unajaribu hiki, doesn't work. And then I got to a point, I said, you know what? As an independent artist, you can't do everything and be everywhere. You don't have the muscle or the capital or the backing behind you kufanya everything. So I just focused on a niche. That's what I did. Because, like I said, the musical language we can all, the language you can all understand, the global language you can all understand, is music. But it's not everything is for everyone. And once you understand that, even kwenye biashara tu, unajua bwana mimi ninauza hiki kitu ni kwa ajili ya mtu fulani. Once you understand that, it's very easy for you to say, okay, I don't have to fight every battle in this space. I'll cover up my area ambayo nita focus on, na I can make my living and I can do what I need to do. So that's what I did. I focused on live performances. I focused on events. I started curating my own events. We had an event running for a couple of years back in the day. It was called the Coffee House Sessions. And for me, I was taking the challenges and I was creating opportunities from them. The challenges, as musicians who have like a different sound from what normal bongo flavor is, walikuwa hawana platforms za perform. So I went and I created a platform. By creating a platform, tukaanza kupata watu wengine. So we have people like Damien Saul. We have people like Naomi C. I wonder if you've ever heard of her. Salma Munde. You have people like Tofa Jax. These are amazing artists. Lakini, because of the nature of the industry, they didn't have nafasi kwenye kila sehemu. So by creating that platform, nika create opportunities for myself. So that's what I did. Over time, you do events, and then I started doing corporate events where I would get hired to do performances kwa ajili ya corporate, the corporate space. So it was very strategic, and the strategy was, it's hard, but it has to be done. How do you feed your purpose? How do you stay authentic to yourself, but at the same time feed your kids and do what you love? So it wasn't easy, but it had to be done, because when you go back to the why, you find the how. And that's what I did.
Makofi mengi tafadhali. And I hope if independent artists wako hapa, they're taking notes, because woo, that was really really important. And just to remind you that I was one of your niche kwenye coffee house session moja, nika win a complimentary ticket, and I was like, yeah, I had to pay for my friend though. Yeah,
we had to pay the bills. We had to pay the bills.
But that was really nice. Let's go back to the music real quick.
Yeah, Nyakati was his first album, and unfortunately we never made another album, but we made another EP a few years back. It was called Rebirth. So I think we're going to play a couple of songs from Rebirth as well.
Grace wrote a love song or what? So I really want to know, fine, huku Tukio tunapata hiyo glimpse ya hiyo. So, what was fine about?
This is why I'm telling you, music is such a universal language, because when I wrote Fine, it's a very sad story. A friend of mine lost her child. And when she lost her child, she was going through a very hard time. And I was really trying to understand, for the life of me, I couldn't even imagine the kind of pain she was in, and the kind of, what that grief would look like. So it was, for me, Fine was trying to kind of like figure out, how does grief look like? But it was very general, the way that it was written. I love writing general stuff that you would listen to and you wouldn't say, okay, this person lost a child. This song is just about loss. What have you lost? It's up to you. How you use it, it's up to you. Yeah. So when I wrote it, it was how do you deal with grief on that level? That was Fine.
And you wrote the song.
Yeah.
Can we listen to Fine kidogo ili mgrasp what we are talking about? just want to showcase how big the talent is.
Nachaje wewe umenizushia balaa, nilipanga nikupende kama kwangu ungekaa. Nachaje uondoke, ina maana niwe peke, uwe mbali sijali, nakataa.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you so much. Makofi tafadhali. Yes, that was fine. Did you write it, right?
Yes, I did.
Who do you aspire to collaborate now at your level?
Well, I don't know what that level is, but I appreciate
The pro level.
I appreciate good poetry. I think to be somebody who can write something that can touch somebody, you have to have either a certain way of looking at life, or uwe na experiences fulani ambazo zimekufanya hurt people. I've realized a lot of good writers wamepitia mambo magumu sana, because struggle and strife really develops character. So I really respect people who can write things from a level ambayo hata mwenyewe nikisikia nasema oh my god. So for me right now wako wengi sana, and I don't believe you have to necessarily be a big artist to do that. I believe anybody who is a true artist can really put together words ambazo zinaweza zikakugusa, and that does not really determine your success or which level you're on. So I love this writer right now, anaitwa Gekume, and I'm pretty sure you don't know him, but he just recently gave me a song which I want to do, and it's some of the most beautiful lyrics nimewahi kuzisikia. And another writer anaitwa Steve Acoustic. He also did a song which I'm dying for me to do it as well. So, and then the last, it's a lady. Her name is Salma Munde. Salma is such a beautiful writer, and she has this song inaitwa Utam, right? Maembe dodo tambaka kwenye kisogo, kashata naonja kidogo kidogo uhondo. Something like that. Yes. So she's such a beautiful writer, and I would kill to have her write me one.
Wow! Can we have a round of applause for those three?
I want everybody to think about this kidogo. I heard of an experiment. Kuna mwanasayansi alifanya ambao alikuwa they've done it a couple times. You can actually go online and Google this. Walifanya experiment. They took two plants, and one plant wakaiweka sehemu mlangoni kwa shule. So one plant wakaweka huku, another plant wakaweka kule, and then wakawaambia watoto every morning when you pass here, kwenye hii plant moja, say all the beautiful nice things. Say you're a beautiful plant, oh my god, you're so gorgeous, you're gonna bloom well, yani vitu vizuri. And the other plant akasema say all the negative things to this plant. So it went on for like a while, and after a while that plant ambayo ilikuwa inaambia all the beautiful good words ili bloom na ikastawi vizuri, and the one ambayo ilikuwa inaambiwa very very negative words ili kufa. They did another experience called the rice experience. You can also Google that. They took jars mbili wakaweka mchele, rice, ukiwa na maji, umeloa. And over time, they were saying really, really negative things to the rice ambayo one jar na very positive thing. Same thing happens. The rice ambayo, and they were fermenting the rice. So the rice ambayo ilikuwa inaambiwa the good things ilikuwa very well fermented, na hii nyingine ilioza. They did another one with ice crystals when you're freezing water. So they froze water, and then they did the same thing. So the one which got really negative words na affirmations ilikwenda kuwa na very very harsh crystals ukiangalia under the microscope. And for that I learned two things. What you put your energy in, the kind of energy you put somewhere, is going to provide results. and you get to determine which results utazipata. If you are focusing negative things on a space, utapata negative things. Uki focus good things, utapata good things. From that time on, I decided I would be very intentional with my life. Kwamba kila kitu nachofanya, the way I move, what I think, what I do is very intentional. Because nikiweka nia kwamba nataka kitu fulani kitoke, and I put all my effort in it, the positive, the dini, things are going to work out. And that has been a trend from that time. The past 4 or 5 years in my life, I decided to be intentional. I said I no longer move like sina purpose or nini. I say I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I don't even say what I want to do. I say I create an intention. I say I want to have, let's say, stability and security in my life. And I put all my energy in that. So anything that comes into my life which does not look like safety and security, it automatically doesn't apply. It goes outside. And I'm telling you this, please do this in your life. Give it at 6 months and you will notice something changing. Because life without intention, kuna this saying wanasema, an examined life is something like a wasted life or something. When you're just moving like you don't know what you're doing, or like wewe tu upo tu, you will get at the end of your life and you'll look back and you'll be like, what was that? So intention is everything. Start with the intention. Everything else falls in line.
Wow, makofi tafadhali. Round of applause. School of Thought, yo. I have this saying as well on intention: where intention goes, the energy flows. So you put intention, whatever good or bad, just remember your energy is gonna flow on that.
Took a break, in case you've noticed. I took a break. I took like 2 years off, and it was also very intentional. I got married. I had a baby recently.
Makofi tafadhali.
This is actually the first time I'm doing a public appearance since 2023. So this is my very first time being on stage and singing and sharing my energy. So it's just been it was also very intentional. And when I took a break, I wanted to go back and write and do things differently so that when I come back to work, I would do things differently. So that's the intention right now. It looks like what? It looks like a new EP in a couple of months. It looks like back to our live shows. We are reviving coffee house sessions. We are bringing a new event very, very soon. So for me, having the break was necessary because I've been doing music since I was 16 years old. And you get to a point where you want to have like a reset. And when I did the EP Rebirth, the sound was different because the intention for me was like, how do I do this in a different way? So for me, this is like Rebirth 2.0. Or is it 0.2? I don't know how that works. But so for me, the what next is I'm doubling down on my intention. I want new music. I want new events. I want spaces whereby people can connect like this and share their human experiences. And that's the intention. How that is going to look like, you're going to see in a couple months. You follow me on social media, you're definitely going to see that. I have a 12-year-old, by the way, and she loves music. And she also says, I want to be a musician. And I tell my daughter this, and I'm going to tell you this as well. You can literally be anything you want to be in life, because if that is something that God put within you, it's going to come out. And kuna mtu mmoja juzi, I was talking to a friend, akaniambia the story of, I can remind the story of Jonah and the whale. Kuna wakristo hapa wanafahamu story ya Jonah na samaki. Yeah. So the story of Jonah and the whale, for those who are not Christian, is about a man who was told by God, kwamba, go to this place and preach the word of God. And that guy didn't want to go to that place. So he took a boat to go somewhere else. Alafu ilivyoka njiani, ile boti ikazama na samaki akameza. And then samaki akamchukua all the way mpaka wapi? Kule Mungu alikomwambia aende. So what does that say? It says that when God wants you to do something and amekiweka ndani yako, it is your job to get it done. How, nini, you'll figure it out. So first of all, it has to be your calling, because no matter how far you run from your calling, it's gonna create frustration within you. So the first thing, whether it's a musician, a doctor, or whatever, if you feel like this is a calling that God gave me, it's your responsibility to get it done. Yeah, so that's first. But then second, you also have to understand hakuna kazi ambayo haina challenges. Everything has its challenges. Ukimwita daktari hapa naye siku mtapiga naye story atasema their own challenges. But you get to choose which hard you want. Everybody gets to choose which hard you want. Do you want the hard that you enjoy doing and you are able and you are talented, umepewa talent to do it, or do you want a hard tofauti? But at the end of the day, being human is hard. Doing things is hard. You get to choose your hard, but you have to be sure and to put everything that you have in it. That's what I would tell you.
Kunienzi wakalichezea langu penzi na wamo better nawe unasema umetafakari unaona we uko tayari to treat me better. So if you're really sure tell me right now, utanipa mapenzi nahitaji. I need you to tell me right now, utanipa mapenzi nahitaji. I need you to tell me right now, utanipa mapenzi nahitaji, mapenzi nahitaji. Nimesubiri mtu anijali, will you do it? Nawe umesema ni mimi, umekata shauri. Is it true? Is it true? If you're really sure, I wanna have more of you. I need you to tell me right now, utanipa mapenzi nahitaji. I need you to tell me right now, utanipa mapenzi nahitaji, mapenzi nahitaji.
Thank you very much.